Hi, Vic at Vic Saga 68. Thanks for dropping by, talking boats. Okay, you know, when you live a while and you've had a lot of boats, and I've had a lot of boats, and the reason I've had a lot of boats is because when you're a marine surveyor, you see a lot of boats. When you're a yacht broker, you see a lot of boats, and a lot of them just sort of stay there, and so you have to buy them. You have to get them. You have to, some of them are just so great, and people don't get it. They're going for the silly boats, and so you buy another boat, and you have another boat, and over a lifetime, you've accumulated a couple dozen boats. Maybe add another 15 to that. Any rate, snowy, cold wind, chill below 10. I can work outside at 18. That's my cutoff point. At any rate, and the way you do that, if you're working on a boat in a barn that doesn't have any heating, then and hopefully it doesn't, because otherwise if it's wood, you're drying things out too much. But at any rate, you put on a lot of clothes, and before you put the clothes on, you put oil on your feet, baby oil, extra virgin olive oil, whatever it is, and then over that you put plastic baggies, and then you put a pair of cotton socks, and then you put a pair of wool socks, okay? And that's for openers. Then you put them in your good shoes that are well greased, and those feet will last you for about 5 or 6 hours in 18-degree temperature. And so these little things. And any rate, days like this remind me of those days of restoration and building in cold barns. But big thing I wanted to talk about is Swampscott Dories, okay? About the best boat of all those 3 dozen boats that I've personally had and gotten very attached to and bonded with and all that kind of stuff, and spent much of my life with. The Dory from Portugal, originally, what I got, 15th century, as the Grand Banks or whatever. The Dory traditionally was very, very amazing boat. You can fill it chock full to the gunnel with salmon or anything else, and man, she'll really sail. I know that. I was going to save a boat in the Thousand Islands, and I needed a whole bunch of screw jacks, hydraulic jacks, PVs, tools, all that sort of stuff. Put it in the Dory, and wow, the water level was about 2 inches below the gunnel. That's all. Hoisted that sprit rig, and wow, that was fantastic. Really, really good sail. Wouldn't wanted to have gone in real open water with that situation, but it's amazing how in every condition they sail so well. Swampscott Dory, as Pete Culler, another one of my heroes. I mentioned Bud McIntosh when I was talking about his boats. Pete Culler is my other hero, long past also. Pete Culler called the Swampscott Dory the Cadillac of dories, and I feel it's necessary for me to mention this, because when you go building a boat, that's a long time spent. If you're doing a real good job, of course, it's a joy. And so you put in a winter and maybe a part of a summer. You couldn't quite launch it, and another half a winter, and now she's really ready. And after all that, then you find, yeah, it's a pretty good boat, but not as good as. So for anyone who is looking over plans and thinking of a boat to build, and for God's sakes, don't be stupid and build a real big one and as your first, second, or third boat. I mean, go small to begin with. Get your rhythm, get your techniques, get a whole bunch of that early stuff down. You know, I think of many boat people who have, you know, had the dream boat in the yard, and they've built it for 20 years until they finally retired. Then they get that boat, get it out there, and that's the first boat. That's the only boat, you know. And they get out in the open water, and oh my God, they didn't know it feels this way, like a herd of runaway broncos. And honest to God, you see that for sale sign come up. They were never so terrified in their life. They didn't know it would be like that. So at any rate, it happens. People who don't know how to start a little bit earlier with a smaller. At any rate, I don't know where you are in your building experience, with your boating experience, but I want to strongly, as strongly as possible, save you a whole lot. When you're all done building and you launch that baby, and then you start comparing it and start sailing it, and then you find, all right, it's not quite as good as this. Yeah, not quite as good as that. How about building one that's as good or better than any of those? And I'm talking about all the factors. You know, it's boating. Boats are compromises, but the best boat I've ever been in, best boat I ever built, best boat I ever sail. Probably this is less than 28-foot level. Okay, is Pete Culler's White Feather. Okay, Pete Culler's Swampscott Dory. I think you might still be able to get the plans. This was the old days. I used to call Mrs. Culler and she'd send me, what was it? I think $12. I get the plans. I've got a new set over in the shop. I was going to show you the old set I've got, but it's so faded you can't see it. I mean, you can hardly see the images. This Swampscott sailing dory of Pete Culler's is the best. Okay? I'm not kidding you, all right? I want you to, after spending all that time and really spending a good time with it, then you've got one that can beat everything. I love a sprit rig for many, many reasons, not the least of which is I use boats for being by myself, for going out, maybe one or two of you going out, whether you're camping or what, but you're cruising, you're exploring, all right? And so the regular fare at yacht clubs and junior sailing situations, they're going to have shroud lines, they're going to have all the modern, normal things. And yeah, get out by yourself and all of a sudden, oh wow, You know, like the Force 5, you know, I mean, that's not new, but I mean the Force 5, where you've got one sock, you know, that sail fits over the mast, boom, okay? So you're going out, as I remember, the mouth of the harbor in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm out there, and here comes this real strong wind. Yeah, you, you have to take the sail off the mast, okay? Or if it's got, I remember St. Michael's, Maryland, launching it wasn't a Lightning, I've done that. It was a smaller one. I can't think of it. It's just like a small Lightning. But again, you got the shroud lines. And so boats bouncing up and down, and you're trying to hook those little, the shrouds into the shrouds and stays. And after many years of that, at age, I don't know, younger than 25, pretty soon it dawned on me, none of these boats are built for exploring and surviving, and what the heck. And then so I dropped back 100 years, and I don't know why, but I did. And so that was the beginning. And so one of the things I dropped back to, of course, was the beautiful sprit sail rig. And I like what Pete Culler mentions, its handiness when you're really overwhelmed and you're out there far too far and you are going to die, you know. And so, you got sea anchors, you got all these things that you do to prevent this. You know, your first thing you do, you take your pole mast down, lay them down. Okay, so you don't have anything. You have no sails. There's progressions. I don't have time to get into all that detail. But the worst case scenario, what do you do? Well, you take one good line, probably maybe the sheet line, and you tie it really tight to a member on the bow, just inside, just below. Tie it really tight. And then you take the entire sprit sail rig and throw it over, the whole thing. It plays out about 15, 20 feet, all right? I'm talking about a 40-mile-an-hour wind, okay? And 7-8 foot seas that are building, okay? Nasty whitecaps. I mean, this is life and death. How do you survive? What can you do? What would you do in your a junior sailing vessel, okay? Modern, I'm talking about. No, you drown. You just get knocked over, and hopefully there's a pickup boat around. Yeah, well, what if there isn't one within 12 miles because you've been exploring, huh? So you just threw this whole rig over, and there it is. Okay, and now you're being blown back. And guess what? You've got all this paraphernalia breaking the crest of the wave, and the wave is going to the left and right of you, and you are slowly backing. You are slowly backing, and you're facing right into that wave. And your sea anchor, it couldn't be a better sea anchor. There's all this debris, and the mast, I mean, it's all floating. And so that's the worst case scenario, and it'll save your life. Isn't that amazing? So what I find is that the boats that have lasted through generations and generations, and 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, pay attention to them. There's reasons that they're still around. There's reasons why that shape, that old quote, the seas don't change. All these inventive people come up with all sorts of new ideas. The seas don't change, okay? You've still got that life-threatening condition that comes up just like that. So the sprit sail is magnificent, and it's the simplest, the best. It's been around for hundreds of years, longer than that. variations about 1,000 maybe. Okay. At any rate, look at White Feather in Pete Culler's book. What's you maybe don't know skiffs and schooners, okay? Skiffs and schooners, okay? And so what do you have on page 119? White Feather, okay? There she is. This is a 3 configurations on there. You can sail her as a sloop, you can sail her as a ketch, or you can sail her as a schooner, all right? Depending on how you rig that. I generally just use the sloop because it's so easy and quick. And so I have my other mast, I have my smaller mast in the barn, but I just don't use it. At any rate, the construction. Let me show you. Again, it's a 5 plank. Now, again, this is some of the beauty. Some of the beauty of Pete Culler. Well, he and well, anyway, any of the old boys and girls possibly, but let's see what's the best shot here of construction details. It's a pretty good view there looking in, and so what you've got it's centerboard. You know, you build the centerboard cap and all that. You have to build a centerboard, and you cut the centerboard out like so, but and like so. You start with these stations, okay, and now the beauty is that this is just plain old normal lumber. You know, it's 2x10s and white pine planking. All right, and it's nothing fancy, and it's only and there's only 5 planks to the side, and so that, and then the ribs. The ribs are sawn ribs. They're not steam bent. They're just plain old sawn, and you can use white oak. I think I used apple for one also. And so it's the most straightforward, how many hours? Maybe 150 hours if you're just moving right along. In other words, you could do it in a winter. That's how she looks upside down. This is copper riveted. The rivets are about every inch and a half, something like that. Now, I mention that because sometimes what you'll get is like with Herreshoff. Look, measure the spacing in a Herreshoff copper riveted boat, and maybe they're going to be 3/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. Oh my! It's like if you're really wealthy, you can hire people, and then how about the restoration? It's endless. I mean, you just wow. So what I love about Pete Culler's designs and his plans is that it's to be built as easily as possible and maintained as easily as possible. And the ribs are sawn. And here's another, let's see, I can get enough light on that one. There you see, sawn and overlapped, okay. And so these are just straight out of the Pete Culler's White Feather plans. And so that's what I would spend my time on, and the beauty is after you're all done, you will have a exceptional boat, and yet It's not fussy. It's just, so let me direct you to Spritz Sails and Pete Culler and White Feather, and his designs are straightforward, easy to build, magnificent to sail, extremely seaworthy. Got to tell you, on the seaworthy thing, one day, just for the heck of it, we're up in St. Lawrence River, a nice little area there, and we're playing in the water, and I proceeded to push. I want to push the gunnel under the water, you know. So I push a lot of weight on it, put all my weight on it. Asked my wife at the time. Asked my wife to, okay, come on, you push down too. I'm balanced on the gunnel. I just want to see what it takes to put it under the water. So then she started pressing down on it, and all of a sudden, here we are, and we're pushing down. We got like 300 pounds on the gunnel, and it's still not quite going under. And it's like, I thought I heard a chuckle, and if so, I think it was Pete. You think I'd design a stupid boat? I mean, it's amazing. You can go through anything with these. So, any rate, white pine, copper riveted on sawn ribs. I use white oak, a tombstone transom. The stem is white oak, beautiful, because he uses such different, one piece of wood that serves as a mast step, serves as a stem, and also is a brace for the garboard coming up there. That's one piece of wood. You look at someone else's dory, Swampscott Dory, even Gardner in Mystic Seaport, Mystic, Connecticut, good design, nice Swampscott, but not as good, not as great as Pete Culler's. So, any rate, okay, Vic Saga, 68. If you want more of my crap, subscribe, and I'll show you some performance, but not in this weather. At any rate, subscribe and like, and you have a good day. Let's think of when it's warm. All right, bye for now.